It's 17 years in the making, Meat, and truly a fight that I never thought we would ever break down on Meat Boy MMA with Robbie Lawler taking on Nick Diaz. It's finally, after 5 years, the return of Nick Diaz. Make it 6 years actually, because the last time we saw Nick Diaz, he was laying down in the cage against Anderson Silva, always bringing the entertainment, always bringing the interesting fights. But before that, he had lost two straight, and he did lose that fight to Anderson Silva, although it was ultimately rendered a no contest. But it was three straight losses for Nick Diaz, and that was a lifetime ago. There's obviously a lot that's happened since then, and it was interesting to see how the COVID pandemic, impacting many people around the world, but seemingly giving Nick Diaz an opportunity at a rebirth, and it almost seems like the whole experience really helped Nick Diaz dial back in, get back focused on his training, and ultimately make this return because we always kind of wondered what he had left. And we're going to find out on Saturday in a 5 round contest against Robbie Lawler, who, he's lost four straight. And his last win was against Donald Cerrone. It was a pretty close fight. And, if we're being frank, we haven't gotten the best years out of Robbie Lawler that recently. And, while he has the impressive resume, he's done amazing things as the former 170 champ. It's a different version than what we've seen in his peak. And even what we saw, obviously, 17 years ago when he was KO'd flat by Nick Diaz, who at the time was coming into that fight known as a jiu-jitsu guy. So as an underdog, always cool to see how Nick Diaz got that finish. But what are your thoughts? We could talk about this one for days. It should be hopefully a classic, a return of two of the boys. It's a true pick 'em. Who you got?
Yeah, no, this is like a dream come true. To be honest, like just like it's like Nick's fighting again. Wait, what? It's like, is this really happening? It's almost like it hasn't hit me yet, to be honest. Pretty crazy, and even crazier. They fought at UFC 209, and it has been 209 months since this fight. So a weird coincidence, a weird stat, nonetheless. But yeah, I gotta go with Diaz in this one. Call me a Diaz mark, whatever. But I like this fight. He got the dub on the first one. I think he still has his number years later. Now, this is going to be at 185 with this random change, so that's going to be interesting, and I think it even favors Diaz even more. I think he's the bigger guy. He's the bigger guy coming in this, and Robbie's going to be smaller. I wonder if he'll even make 185. I could see Robbie coming in 180, maybe even 178, somewhere around there, but maybe he just starts grubbing and, packing on a lot of pounds for this, since he was already kind of on weight for 170. But I think Diaz is going to get it done. I see this going to decision. It would be pretty mind-blowing if there is a finish, just because, I don't know. Robbie's a tough guy. Nick's a tough guy. They're both veterans. They're coming out to bang, and I think they're both going to go the distance on whoever wins, but I see it being Diaz's night.
Wow, I gotta be honest, I'm a little bit surprised to hear that pick. It's great to hear that pick. Love to hear the love for the Stockton kid, Nick Diaz, and I don't think it's the craziest thing. And apparently 62% of Tapology sees it the same way. It's interesting because obviously their last 5 years have been different trajectories, but Nick Diaz still is the younger guy, and it'll be very, very fascinating to see what the speed looks like in Nick Diaz versus Robbie Lawler, and just overall what this contest or how this contest materializes, because should be fireworks for as long as it lasts. And you touched on the 185 edition. What do you make out of that? Do you see it impacting the fight? And I know you mentioned that you think Robbie Lawler is going to be actually underweight in this one, but what do you make of this last second shift? Do you think it was something maybe premeditated? Did we know that Nick Diaz was going to do this all along, or is there something deeper here? What do you make out of the weight change?
Yeah, so the weight change, from what I've seen, it seems very random, but if you look into it, there might be a reason. And the rumors are, no one knows for sure, but there is a footage going around that you can't find online. I couldn't find it, at least, but you just hear through the grapevines of people that Nick didn't, something happened, and if he cuts weight, it's not going to be beneficial for him, and that is why he's sticking at his normal weight. So that way, because when you cut weight, you're very prone to being knocked out, like TJ Dillashaw versus Henry Cejudo. And so I think that's what the game plan behind it is. They don't want to get knocked out because, let's be real, Robbie is ruthless. He takes souls. Now, Robbie hasn't been the same Robbie that was taking souls when he was champion, but you still can't sleep on the guy, and I think it's only going to benefit Diaz for the fact he doesn't have to cut weight now. So I'm still going with Diaz, not even though all these rumors are kind of leaning towards Robbie's a safer bet.
Yeah, and Josh Thompson put that information out. No one's seen the video. We have, I mean, he said he saw the video. We obviously haven't seen it, so you take that one with a grain of salt. Who knows what truly happened behind the scenes there? But it is just kind of a little interesting nugget. Like you do wonder why suddenly this fight's being contested at middleweight. But the last time we saw Nick Diaz, that fight against Anderson Silva was up there as well. So very interesting stuff nonetheless. I am with you though. I'm gonna be rolling with Nick Diaz. He said something. It was either today or earlier this week, where almost as if he was just like disgusted with the fact that the UFC matched him up against Robbie Lawler, almost as if he felt disrespected by the fact that he's having to go through Robbie Lawler. Is almost what the tone of what he said was. And if that's true, man, things are about to get exciting because if Nick Diaz is back, is a legit contender, and is someone that is back in those top fights. I mean, imagine Nick Diaz against Sean Strickland or against any of those guys at the top of the 185 division. There's just straight fireworks. Imagine him against Colby. Like, there's some sweet stuff you can do. So I'm hopeful Nick Diaz can do something impressive, and I'm with you 100%. Think he's going to get this one done over ruthless Robbie Lawler. So any last thoughts on this one? Can't wait.
No, yeah, boys, throw in the comments. You guys got Diaz or Ruthless Robbie Lawler? I know these are both OGs, and everyone is a fan of both, so hard to pick on this. But throw in the comments how you think it gets it done, and check out our other videos in the main event and Meatlock. Yep.